Hello there. Welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and today I'm gonna sip my coffee and I'm gonna say snarky comments to strangers that I've never met that are trying to just get their questions answered. Sound good? Good. First question, what's the loudest show you've ever been to? That is a tie between two different bands. Now, I have not seen Motorhead live, and I know you guys are gonna say, Motorhead's one of the loudest bands ever. I never saw Motorhead, so I can't comment on that, although I do have it on good authority that they were indeed the loudest band ever. But first was Soulfly in like 2003 at a small club in Seattle called El Corazon. The bass on the kick drum was so loud it would compress your chest and interrupt your breathing pattern. And I would have to go outside to catch my breath and then go back in. It was unbelievable, but the loudest, probably the loudest concert I have ever been to was Korn. They played a theater in Seattle called the Moore Theater in 1996, about 1,000 people, 1,500 people. And that was when they were touring behind their first record. They were still in their jumpsuits, wearing Adidas, everything. And they had dolls, little teeny tiny toy dolls all over the drum riser and all over the gear. They were so loud. So this is disgusting, by the way. I had an ear infection and I had a doctor's appointment for the next day to go and get my ears checked. Well, I didn't bring earplugs because I was 15 at the time and I didn't know any better. It was one of like the first concerts I ever saw. And I show up and it was so loud that stuff started coming out of, yeah, it was bad. But I didn't need to go to the doctor. It was, by the time I got to the doctor, everything was fine. And I just kind of had like swimmer's ear or something like that. But yeah, Korn, 1996, holy crap, it was loud. Thoughts on the Sun Model T? You know what, when I think of Sun Model T, I think of two bands, Fall Out Boy, Joe, and one of my favorite bands ever, Cave In. Cave In used Model Ts and JCM 800s in the antenna era. And I always wanted to try a Sun Model T amp, and I've never tried one. I've never plugged into one. I've never even seen one in person. I know the Fender reissues are super, super cool, and I've actually kept an eye on eBay and Reverb from time to time, but I usually only see the vintage ones. They're like $3,000, and I don't want to pay that much for a vintage Sun. What I would really like to get is a Fender reissue Sun Model T. I would love to have one of those amps because they're kind of like a hot rod at 800-ish Doom box. And yeah, I'll get one, don't worry, I'll get one. Thinking of getting a PV6505MH and a 212 cab. Should I get V30s or Creambacks? You know what, I had this debate myself because in my live rig for Rest Repose, I have been bouncing back and forth between vintage 30s and Creambacks with my Rhodes Gemini. Now, for the record, I love vintage 30s. I love Mesa vintage 30s. I love UK made vintage 30s. The ones made in China are extremely harsh sounding and just don't sound the same to me as the UK made Celestion vintage 30s that come in Mesa Boogie cabs. Having said that, I am currently on a huge Creamback kick. I've always been a huge fan of the Creambacks. I run a Mesa Boogie 212 with Rest Repose, and I have one H and one M. But if I had to choose one Creamback, it would probably be the H. I love the H. The H is just a wonderful sounding speaker. Both of them are really good. It just depends on what amp and what you're really going for. But honestly, I would recommend the Creambacks because the vintage 30s have just the spiky high mid thing, and it's, oh man, it's really harsh under a microphone and in a live situation if you plan on playing out. Nah, get Creambacks, man. Just get them. You'll thank me later. I'm not sure if you said this in your FAQ Mondays yet, but I'm curious, what do you use for soundproofing in your studio? I did indeed answer this a long time ago in a very old FAQ Monday when I first got the treatment, but I will answer it again. These panels are by Vicoustic North America. They are wonderful people. It's wonderful treatment. It kind of marries design with functionality as opposed to what sound treatment was for a long time, which is just ugly panels hanging on the wall. They were very functional, but they didn't look that great. So Vicoustic is very good in marrying good design and aesthetic with good functionality. If you want to check out more about these panels, link down below in the description. My suggestion to you this week is a slightly serious one, and it's really kind of a favor to me. A friend of mine, Jason Locking, has cancer, and he is currently getting treatment, and he is fighting the good fight, but his medical bills are stacking up, and he currently has a GoFundMe account to help with all of these bills surrounding his cancer. Now, I would never ask any of you to donate money for anything, but what I am asking is to just simply share the GoFundMe account. I would really appreciate it. Jason would really appreciate it. And you know what? You'll be a better person for it. All applicable links down below in the description. You have been wonderful. I have been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.